All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to finish the week here much better than I started it. This week was not great. I started on Monday. I guess the first couple trades on Monday were green, but then I was trading a continuation setup. I got caught in a nasty flush. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I was like back to back, 4 losses in a row, 5 losses in a row. And I started revenge trading. I started spiraling. Today, I'm finishing the morning, as you could see here, up $4,224.82. It's a green day. Can't complain about that. We could take a peek at my my P&L from the week, excluding today, because I can't import today's trades until tomorrow. But you'll see red on Monday, red on Tuesday. But as I said, Tuesday was a day where I maintained composure. I followed all the rules, but I was red. That's okay. I can handle that. I wish I had done the same on Monday, but anyways. So Tuesday was okay. Wednesday was good. Thursday was good. And now Friday is going to be another $4,000 green day. So in total, the week is a wash. Basically, what I made on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, it's just making up for what I lost on Monday and Tuesday. So where's the month of May? There it is. So yeah, anyways, down 4,400 as you could see right here, but up today 4,200. So we'll be slightly red, but it's fine. So puts me back to kind of where I was, first week of the month here. And it's a bummer. It's look, I kind of feel like a waste of time in a sense. I just had to spend 3 days, it'll be a little bit from Monday, kind of recovering from this mistake. So I need to really work on staying more focused, staying dialed in. But today is the 4th day in a row of being more disciplined. So today first trade of the day was on NVAX. This stock squeezed up 217%. This was an incredible move. Honestly, super impressed and surprised that we saw such a big move. I wouldn't typically expect it. Why? The float on this stock is 138 million shares. It's not really a small cap stock. It's also easy to borrow. So when we pull up the level 2 on NVAX, you could see right here, easy to borrow, right? So it's easy to borrow. It's going to be more thickly traded. It's got 100 million shares of volume here today, which is, this is going to have, it's an incredible amount of volume. It's an incredible amount of money that's changing hands. 100 million shares at $9, $10 a share. You're talking about $1 billion of volume, of transaction volume here. So it really is substantial. Okay, so my routine, as always, I pulled up my phone here pretty early this morning, checked the scans on my phone, and I saw NVAX was the leading gapper. And I was like, oh, God, because the first thing I saw was that it's up over 100%. And I was like, great. Then I checked the float, and I was like, the float's over 138 million shares. It's going to be thickly traded. And I was like, I hope it's a buyout. Because if it's a buyout, it'll just trade at that level, and we'll end up focusing on something else, which will have more potential. But I checked the news. It's not a buyout, and it's squeezing. So I came right over to my office at 6:45. Basically within 10 minutes of waking up, I had checked the scanner and was like, oh boy, I better get over here. So anyway, so I came over here, and this is what it's doing. It's rapidly pulling away. And when I looked at 9:45, it was like 8, 9, 10, whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, so I sit down here and I'm watching it as it's pulling away here. And now I'm going to pull up the 10-second chart so you can get a better sense of how this was moving in this area. Okay. So 10-second chart right here. Okay. So first trade for me, sat down a little late. First trade, boom, right in there. Bought that micro pullback. Second trade, boom, added right there. Third trade, bought this dip at 1350, sold right here. Fourth trade, dip off of 12, ended up being break even. Fifth trade, buying the dips off of 11. We were holding 11, and it was sort of bouncing, but not really. I gave back like Let's see. I gave back about $200 in this area, trying to buy the dips off of 11, and then it just came lower. So in total, I made $1,600 on it in my retirement account, which is good. And you know what? Look, that was with a starter position of 2,500 shares, max position 5,000 shares, because you know the rule. I trade with a max position of 5,000 shares until I'm up over $1,000. I crossed over 1,000, and I was like, well, I was only trading 2,500 share positions. I don't really feel like I need to increase size for NVAX. And it's very early. It's not even 7 a.m. yet. So I was like, let's just hold off for a second on increasing share size. Also, it's Friday. I'd like to kind of end the week strong. So I didn't increase share size at that point. I just sort of was like, let's just see how things hold up. And as it turned out, this just ended up coming back down. Although it bounced up a little bit in a couple different areas, it never really got back up to where it previously was. And I don't really think it will. If it does, that'll surprise me. So then my next trade was on AEHL. AEHL at 7 a.m. had some news. And because we had just had this move on NVAX, I was like, I'll give it a stab. But as you can see, pop and drop, reversal. So kept it really tight, small share size, got in, got out, made an average of a few cents a share, $277, but was like, all right, this is going to be a problem. This is going now red on the day, not holding up. Let's be cautious. Next trade, AEMD. AEMD made $157 on it. Kind of similar. Pops up on this candle. Wasn't sure how high it was going to go. Some of you guys got really good entries at 2 and 250. I totally missed that. I ended up doing a dip trade and it bounced for a second off of, I think it was about 250. But anyways, only made $157 on that one. And then we had SGBX, which when SGBX hit the scanners, I was kind of cautious because it's hit the scanners a bunch of times in the last few days. It keeps popping up and dropping, popping and dropping. But given the market that we're in, which is, well, we just had a 200% squeeze on NVAX, I thought, let me just see what it wants to do. So I'll pull up the 10-second chart on this one as well. So on this one, it hits my scanner. I already know the symbol. I know the ticker, and I'm thinking, all right, is it going to work? Is it going to pull away? And I'm not really sure. But as it starts to pull away, what it does right here is it comes up to a high of 506 right here. Micro pullback right there. I bought the micro pullback. I was like, I'll give it a starter. Starter position, only did small size starter. It ends up going from 5 all the way up to 6. I took my profit. I did not overtrade it. I was like, I'm going to be a little conservative on this because I just don't fully trust it. So anyways, locked up $2,700 on that, full $1 a share, even though I wasn't with full size, still $1 a share is great. And that put me up $4,800 on the day. That trade was at 8:30. And then there were no trades at 9, top of the hour. There was no news. There was nothing I liked. And just kind of was sitting waiting to see if something would become obvious and if something would open up. The next one was SMFL. And at that time, I was kind of thinking about how last week we had BENF that made this big squeeze on Friday, kind of a little later in the morning. And I was sort of like, are we going to see something like that today? I don't know. But I'm going to keep my eyes peeled just in case. This happened at 10:30, 10:45. So, it could still happen. But anyway, so SMFL starts to pop up, starts to pull away. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I bought at 4 right here and boom, lost $600. So that's my first loss of the day, down 600 on that one. And it drops me from 4,800 to 4,200, gave back about, 15% off the top. And I think this is a perfectly respectable place to walk away. I don't feel much emotion about giving back 10, 15%. I don't really care about that. I'm still walking away with 4,200. That's a great day. But if I go under 4,000, I have a sense that I'll feel a little bit of a bigger sense of like loss. So I think this is the place to walk right here. Now, it does mean if something starts to squeeze up like BENF did on last Friday, I would miss it. I can stick around for a little longer, but like this one's starting to pop up. But I just, look, if something really starts to move, I'll consider it, and if I have to do another recap, I'll do another recap. But I just think that probably the best move for me is to call it a day and be done here. So, as it turns out, this week was more or less a wash. I'll note here, gave back 15% off the top. Those are my notes for Friday. Yesterday was a small green day, and it was Wednesday that was the $4,500 day. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a little bit slow. NVAX definitely stole a lot of attention. It's got 138 million share float. It's got 100 million shares of volume. It's definitely thickly traded. Float rotation is about 1, which means everyone who was in this yesterday now has had the ability to sell, more or less, because there's been, not quite, but 100 million shares of volume. So if these are all people who are up 100% on their position, that's huge, right? That is a lot of money. You've got 100 million shares that are up $6 a share. That's $600 million of profit that happened overnight from this news. That is huge. And so a lot of those people naturally are going to want to take some of that profit off the table. That's going to create selling. So this first move really, really early, a lot of those people that have been holding for a while might not have even known about it. Comes back down, and look at the volume that's now, kind of coming in. A lot more volume, and this is where you're seeing more of that churning. People taking profit, etc. So I don't think we're going to get more clean action on it. I think that what you've got there is probably as good as it's going to get, and would have been nice if I'd gotten a little bit of a bigger piece of that. Congratulations to those who did, but sort of unusual in this market to have a move that early. But that did kind of set a funny tone for today. Leading gapper, higher float, higher priced, second leader, third leader. None of these to me felt as obvious or as clean or as safe. So maybe just a day I should be grateful I made as much as I did, and live to trade another day and be back at it bright and early on Monday morning. So those of you guys that want to join me next week, I'll put a link to a 2-week trial. It'll be in the description. Now, you can't keep doing 2-week trials again and again and again. People who are abusing it like that will block your account. So you can't, because that's not fair. We do, it actually costs us money to let you guys do this trial. Even though you pay us $20, the market data costs, especially if you straddle a month, which won't be the case this week. But in any case, it's actually costing us more. So we do it because we want to give you guys a chance to really try it out for yourself. And we know a lot of you will decide to become members. And so I hope you do. I hope you check it out. That link will be in the description of this video, and I'll pin it to the comments. You'll have access to a selection of classes from my curriculum during the 2-week trial. And you'll be able to really watch over my shoulder, use the software, and see what it's like, to be in the community. Okay, so anyways, that's it for me. Thanks as always for tuning in. And I've got a new episode that I just uploaded earlier today on an alternative to candlestick charts. I said, stop using candlestick charts. Well, that's what people have been telling me. So make sure you check out that episode. I think it's a very interesting one. And I'll see you guys back here on Monday morning. Okay, thanks as always for tuning in. Reminder, trading is risky. My results aren't typical. There's no guarantee you'll find success, whether you learn from me or you trade on your own. So manage your risk, take it slow, and we'll see you on Monday.